What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to take a look at a Sharon game. And Sharon games can always be pretty strong. I think Sharon is like a good tournament hero, as I've said before, and just been trying to play some of the better heroes as of recently. Unfortunately, we do get griefed here against the Trophy Hunter. They don't play anything, so our happy little tree does not grow. So that one is a little bit unfortunate, but we do have a pretty reasonable shop to be able to pick up this turn. We can grab like a Sherwood Sure Shot plus a Magic Research, and then next turn we can look to pick up Mad Mim plus Polywoggle. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't get to cast Magic Research actually because we cast the free roll. But next turn we can pick up Mad Mim plus Polywoggle. Both of the units that we're currently rocking are good to have that Sharon buff go on. At this point, probably rather just have the Sharon buffs on the Sherwood Sure Shot because we're probably not going to make too much use out of Happy Little Tree. It's always really interesting with Happy Little Tree and Sharon, like, you want it to get the buffs early, but just because it starts scaling so quickly, eventually it's going to be pretty hard for it to be your first unit that dies. And that just means it's going to get harder to get the tree bigger, which makes it less likely that you wind up keeping it around. So we're just going to use the Mad Mim plus Happy Little Tree for now to grow that unit, and then we'll probably wind up cutting it in not too long. Sherwood Sure Shot's going to get the bonus, and Polywoggle is going to get the Slay, and that is going to give us a Wicked Witch with another Wicked Witch in the shop. So definitely some interesting decisions to be made here. I probably want the pair of Wicked Witches. I probably also want the Black Cat, but I do think I'm going to go for a Polywoggle as well. And one of the reasons that I like Polywoggle on Sharon is because even if you don't slay, if you get that first attack, Polywoggle will die, and then you'll at least get +2/+1 on it. Now, in this case, we actually do just wind up slaying, so that is totally fine. And then the huge Sherwood Sure Shot will get to take my opponent down. And then we get a Riverwash Mermaid and a shop that gives us a pair of Shadow Assassins. So definitely a weird shop here, and even weirder, I think we're going to be playing this Mad Mim because a 3/5 I think is ultimately just going to be better for us than a 1/9. A 1/9 really doesn't do too much. So we'll play both of the Shadow Assassins in front of both of the Wicked Witches. I do try to order around the board a little bit, but there's no real way that is like great that allows us to basically get the Riverwash Mermaids supporting on just the Shadow Assassins, but this is still totally fine, and the Sherwood Sure Shot can now slay, and then that will grow the Shadow Assassins, and we get to do some nice stuff here. Now, unfortunately, Mad Mim is going to be what receives the buff, as none of our other units even die, and we are obviously feeling quite strong at this point in the game. Would really love to find a triple of Shadow Assassin or Wicked Witch, but I will also settle for 2 XP because, like I said, I think that we are strong enough that even not adding to our board this turn, and we do add to our board a little bit, we pick up the +2/+1 on the Mad Mim, and a few stats on the Shadow Assassins and Sherwood Sure Shot because of slaying. So we do have a little bit of stats here added to our board, but for the most part we're rocking the same thing that we were rocking last turn, and that should be enough. A bunch of 7, 8, and 10 power ranged units is really quite strong, and I don't think that we're slowing down just because we stop down to cast some XP here. So get that first slay. Mad Mim is going to be the first thing to die again, and then we will be easily able to take up my opponent's backline with our backline here, because our backline is pretty strong too. And we can make our backline a little bit stronger by picking up a Sporko. I don't think that that's crazy, and we can also make our front line a little bit stronger by picking up a Monster Book. And think that both of these options are good. I could have also seen picking up Mummy, because Mummy is good with Sharon as it scales and then gets to hit for a little bit more each time. It would also be good with the supports, but I think a monster book is just as good as the next thing here too. And basically, I haven't really decided on a comp. We just picked the Shadow Assassins up because they were a pair. Same thing with the Wicked Witches. Riverwash Mermaid and Shadow Assassin have some overlapping synergy in that they both want you to play Slay, but not too much overlapping synergy because they want you to both play them in the back line, which obviously we're struggling with having enough room in our back line. Shadow Assassin gets the Sharon bonus there, which is interesting because it dies to the Mummy after the monster book dies. And I'll go for a True Love's Kiss. We wind up getting a little bit more of the same, just another ranged support unit. And speaking of ranged support unit, there is Baba Yaga. We are up to XP right now, and it could definitely benefit us to get a Lance Baba Yaga package going. I'm still right now looking to see, I think if I sell my whole bench plus one other thing, I won't have to play down a unit, so I am just looking for which I want to sell, Monster Book or the Sherwood Sure Shot, in order to play Lancelot. And then I'm going to double support the Lance as well, because now if Lance can slay, then it will be able to grow to 25 attack. And if it doesn't slay, then we can do some stuff next turn. Now, it slays, but it doesn't stay. So we wind up losing the Lancelot there, and we'll have to find some more stuff to add to the board. But we're also just really, really ridiculously strong for right now. So we'll still wind up winning. 40 health, pretty sweet. I'll pick up Baba Yaga and then throw a potion of heroism onto Lance, and that'll keep it at above 26. So the whole point of this is just to activate Lance sooner, because if you're up on XP and you can activate a Lance a lot faster than the rest of the lobby, it's generally a pretty good way to find a winning combination. Somebody brought this up actually in the comments on a skip video, and feel free to shout out yourself. Maybe I'll throw it on the screen here if I can remember, but they brought it up in the comments of a skip video months ago, talking about how Slay was good with Skip. And I didn't really give Slay on Skip the credit at the time, but I think that it's good. And basically just being ahead on XP on the rest of the lobby just means that everybody else's units are going to be slightly stronger, and we can see that anything Lance would have attacked there, we could have been able to slay against. Now, fortunately, we are actually going to get a little bit crushed here to be, an exception that doesn't prove the rule. I don't know if that's the phrase or not, but we do complete the Lance treasure. I'll grab Staff of the Old Toad, which I think will continue to allow us to just stay above the rest of the pack, and then I'll grab some Hermes Magic Beans. And that's pretty hard to say with a little bit of congestion there. Now we're throwing Gumblegore in the front because we are just out of spaces all over the place. But then I'll pick up the Riverwash Mermaid triple. One thing that is interesting that I haven't really talked about yet this game is Sharon plus Lightning Dragon. And it's going to be relevant here as we pick up Gloves of Thieving. Now Lightning Dragon is going to be a pretty good tool to potentially add to this board. So that way maybe we can steal Baba Yagas from people or stuff like that. And we're also, with the double Riverwash, looking to move, and basically the Staff of the Old Toad, looking to move into this Slay comp full time. But what is interesting is always getting the Sharon buff on the Lightning Dragons. And yeah, have the option to pick up a Baba Yaga here, and then also have the option to pick up some Lightning Dragons. And I am going to move into Lightning Dragon. I think that Lightning Dragon can be good on Sharon. We don't actually have the Jormungand, just yet. So we don't really have to slay with Lightning Dragon this turn, but basically Lightning Dragon is always going to get the Sharon buff. And is that good? And just kind of considering those options here. And there's a few different ways that you can order this board. You can either just try to grow the Lightning Dragon in the Riverwash Mermaid slots. The other thing that I was briefly toying around with, and honestly I thought was going to be the one that I went with, was Lightning Dragon in 1, and then Lance in 2, double supported by Baba Yaga. And the reason that I like that is because that allows the Lancelot to just get the most potential scaling. Now, unfortunately, we are going to face up against an opponent that has a little bit more scaling than us, and unfortunately, also, we do not steal their Baba Yaga, but we are going to be quite strong here now. We are really just looking for more Lightning Dragons and Riverwash Mermaids to triple and try to find something sweet there, and then a third Baba Yaga to potentially get an Evil Eye, and also just an upgraded Baba Yaga would be sweet. So we'll throw in these Lightning Dragons. With the pair of Lightning Dragons, it does make them a little bit more likely to slay, and then I'm debating, like, do I want another Lightning Dragon in, or do I want to throw in a Shadow Assassin? But I think just playing all of the Lightning Dragons gives us a reasonable chance. Also, we're up against a Trophy Hunter, so there's a decent chance we could steal a Baba Yaga from them as well. So kind of into that. Now, unfortunately, they don't have it. We take a Mad Mim, and then our second Lightning Dragon doesn't do anything, and then our Jormungand fails, and then their monster book slays. So kind of disastrous for us. We take 15. We've lost the last 3 combats, but you can see we were 60% to win that one. Just got a little bit unlucky. So pick up another Riverwash Mermaid. We'll triple the dragons. We'll pick up Sky Castle, triple the Riverwash Mermaids. That gives us Horn, and we'll toss the Sky Castle. So now we are in a really, really good spot, and we just have to find one more Baba Yaga, and we're kind of cooking here. And then when I roll, I see a Medusa, and I'm realizing that this opponent, the Morgana, is also Slay, and we could pick up a Medusa here. And basically the main reason that I go for it, even though it means I've got to sell one of my Baba Yagas, is because there's a chance that they've just outscaled me at this point in the game. Their Vampire was already bigger than my Lancelot, and my Lance really hasn't done the work that I've needed him to do, despite talking about how XP can be good with slaying. And you take a look at my opponent's options here, yeah, my Lance is going to go down to their Vampire, and luckily the Medusa is able to kind of help get us back into this one with doing some slays there. My opponent's also going to have a Pumpkin, but they've got a Rotten Applewood that immediately attacks, so this is going to be easy pickings here for Jormungand. And basically now everything's just going to attack into Jormungand, and that'll let us clean up the combat. We can even grab a Hermes Magic Beans, and that will allow us to slay with Medusa to start off next turn. At this point, I'm really just looking for more Baba Yagas again, even though I just sold my Baba Yagas off, and then I'm also looking for more copies of Jormungand. But we're going to find more Baba Yagas. So we'll lock onto those, and a doubled up Baba Yaga will just give us a lot more power on the board, and also potentially let us find a good tier 5 treasure. Lightning Dragon gets really, really lucky in its attack. It avoids the Sultak Ancient, but you can see this Lancelot just isn't big enough at this stage of the game, unfortunately. So we are going to have to try to find some ways to replace that, but we are going to be able to take out Gwen here, and now we'll pick up these Baba Yagas. So the tier 5 treasure that it gives us is, I guess, Hand of Midas. Basically, if we take Hand of Midas, we're really just rolling for a Jormungand to replace Lancelot and next turn. And that's really all that we can do. This Lancelot isn't big enough, but it's not going to be worth taking out just yet. And it's fine to cut the what were they called? The Gloves of Thieving, because it's not like Gloves of Thieving actually contributes to the board. And now we have Hand of Midas plus Staff of the Old Toad, which actually makes it pretty reasonable to make a play like this, even with only 1 or 2 turns left in the game. But this Trophy Hunter kicked our butt last time. Let's see if they will be able to do the same thing again. Honestly, should probably move the Lightning Dragon up closer, but I do think that Lance can have a reasonable job at slaying against a Trophy Hunter. We would have stolen a Pumpkin, we wouldn't have stolen a Baba Yaga there, but Lance does get the slay, so that's really good. It's going to make a huge Jormungand that can hopefully survive a doubled up monster book, looks like it does, and will allow us to come out of this one victoriously. And also means that our Riverwash mermaids just attack into a bunch of stuff from those pigs, and we hit my opponent for the full damage. They were only at 6, but kind of cool that nothing died. And then we see the Jormungand, so Lance did just slay and grow in that last combat, but we're going to have to replace Lance with an upgraded Jormungand. That's just too good to be true. And now we're just looking for a combat-related spell, the best of which one is Hermes Magic Beans. So because of that, because there is a spell that costs 0 and dramatically increases our chances to win, I'm just going to sell and roll and sell and roll and even sell Lancelot and roll one last time. And unfortunately we don't find it, but that's definitely something to consider now on these final turns of the game. Just keep rolling, because if you care about attacking, or if your opponent cares about attacking, it can be a huge game to just steal that first attack. So we are going to wind up attacking first regardless, which just means we've got absolutely massive Jormungands and find a really easy win here. So that is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven, and we will wait for this combat to play out here. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. Peace.